Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. It is Wednesday. I don't know why I'm forgetting that. It is quite clearly Wednesday, else I wouldn't be sat here recording. It's Wednesday. It is the 12th of February. It's about 9:30 here. I have a small amount of time with the house all to myself, which is lovely. Calvin, my husband, will be back soon, I think. But yeah, for now, it's a nice quiet house, so I thought I'd record. Well, I was going to anyway, but it's nice that the house is quiet. If you're new here, I know I have at least one extra subscriber. So a special hello and welcome to you, and thank you ever so much for pressing that button. It means a lot, it really does. Hello to everybody else as well. Thank you for joining me. It's lovely to have you here. My name is Jenny. I am a crocheter and a spinner based in North Yorkshire in the UK, where I live with my husband and my small boy and our cat, who may well make an appearance at some point. She quite often comes to pester me while I'm doing this. And this is where I talk about crafty things. Mostly crocheting and spinning, but the occasional extra bit too. I don't think I've got anything extra to talk about today, actually. I think craft wise anyway, I think it is just crochet and spinning. But we'll find out, won't we, as we go. I have one proper finished object to talk about, one also a finished project, but it'll become clear. It doesn't quite count, but it'll become clear in a bit. And a few works in progress and spinning, finished spinning actually, so quite a bit of that to show you, which is lovely. Housekeeping stuff before I forget. I need to stop saying there will be notes in the description box below the video. You will find there links to project pages for any of my projects that I talk about today, links to any other crafty people, small businesses, etc. that I mention, my social media, my website, my shop. Please do visit my shop. All of that sort of thing will be down below. I'm going to do things slightly differently this time, in that as I'm talking about my projects, I will put some information up on the screen, probably sort of here-ish, maybe, because then I can put pictures up here. We shall see how that goes. But sort of the more technical things, the pattern name, the yarn that I'm using, the hook size, that kind of thing, just so I don't have to break my flow and tell you all of that. I'll mention some of it anyway as I'm chatting, but I always feel a bit awkward talking about those bits. I don't know why, it doesn't feel as natural. So I thought I'd try just setting it all out here for you. You can't see my hand. There we go. And hopefully that will work nicely. Let me know what you think. In the description there will also be timestamps for chapters, sections, whatever you want to call them, for the video, so that you can skip sections if there's anything you're not interested in, or you can revisit sections if you want to watch it again, nice and easily. You can find whichever bit you're looking for, skip whichever bit you want to skip. Have I missed anything? No, I don't think so. The only other thing I wanted to mention before we get properly started is that it was, of course, my craft market last weekend, first one of this year. I think it was the fourth one in total that I have hosted myself, and it went so well. Really, really pleased. As always, all my vendors were wonderful. If you are one of those and you're watching, hi. Yeah, everyone was really helpful, really friendly, got on really well. The atmosphere was fantastic. People seem to enjoy the music that I've chosen, which I'm always a little nervous about, because people have said before, oh, why don't you just pick a Spotify playlist and put it on? It's like, no, that's not me. I am quite picky about music. I like a lot of different music. I've got quite an eclectic taste, I suppose you could say. But there is some that I really don't like, and a lot of that is quite popular, and so it ends up on these pre-made playlists or other people's playlists or whatever. So I always make my own for these events, and I'm always trying to find the line between music that I really enjoy, music that other people won't be offended by, or at least won't find too weird. I'm into a lot of metal, which I love, but I recognise that a lot of people aren't, and that it probably isn't entirely suitable for a general public event like that. Obviously there are plenty of cases where it would be appropriate, but a craft market in a fairly upmarket town on a Saturday when families, pensioners, etc. are coming in, it maybe isn't quite the vibe that people want. So yeah, I always worry a little about that. I always spend quite a bit of time curating a playlist, and I think it was successful this time, so yay. I need to do another one for the next one now. Start my next playlist. Anyway, more importantly, we had a decent amount of footfall. It was not terrible weather, but quite a kind of grey and rainy, not rainy, but like damp day. And so I was a little worried that we wouldn't get many people coming out. But I had a rough count, and it is very approximate, of about 500 people through the door. So really, really happy with that. Sales, I sold nothing off my table, but that's not really a big problem because I make money by being there anyway. A couple of other vendors also didn't sell anything. It's the chance you take. You can't predict these events, unfortunately. Sometimes people are really eager to buy, other times not so much. I'm doing it again. You'll be noticing it now that I've mentioned it as well. Sorry. What was I saying? Yeah, so sometimes things sell, sometimes they don't. That said, a couple of the other vendors did really well. So, it is just potluck. But yeah, overall very happy. I've had some good feedback from a couple of vendors already I need to reply to. Must do that later on today. Woohoo, roll on. So the next one will be just before Easter. There are plenty of spaces at the moment. There's a link in the description, of course, for more information on that, and you can also book your place there if you'd like to trade. I am hoping to squeeze in, just rearrange things a little bit, squeeze in a couple of extra stalls next time, and also there is an upstairs space at the venue that I haven't yet used but is included in the venue hire, so I'm thinking I might as well. And so I am intending to invite people to run workshops in that space. It doesn't feel suitable for just sort of extra general vendors because it's a bit out of the way, and so the footfall up there would be drastically reduced compared to downstairs, which, if that's not fair to put people up there who are just relying on people dropping by. But I figure if I invite people to host workshops, they can then get people to book onto those in advance, and so that's guaranteed people through the door. So there'll be more to come on that. I need to sort out exactly how I'm going to arrange it, how many I can fit in, and so on. Right, I need to clear my throat. And then I'll start talking about projects. Okay, first of all, very quick mention for the Cassiopeia scarf that I'm making. I have made no progress on that since the last time I spoke to you, or if I have, it's tiny. I shall try and remember to get a picture for you here, just to remind you of the what the project is, and I will put the details up here as well for you. I'm still counting it as an active work in progress. I do intend to work on it more over the next couple of weeks. I've just been so busy with all the market prep last week. I didn't have much crafting time, basically, and other things had to take priority. So Cassiopeia suffered. She didn't get any attention, poor dear. But she is still very firmly on the active list, and I will work on her. Hopefully, I intend to work on her in the next couple of weeks. I want to get her finished. I want to get her in the shop. I want to get her sold. She's beautiful, and yeah, I enjoy working on it. So yes, that will, hopefully there'll be a finished project for you next time, and if not, a lot of progress. Finished project. This was almost done, I think, last time I spoke to you. It is now not only finished, but labelled and has been to the market. Lots of people expressed lots of interest, but unfortunately no one bought it. So it will go up in my shop at some point. This is the Love You to Death cushion, and I do love it. I do need, I think, just to tidy up these corners a touch, but it's okay, they're alright. I love it. I will put this all up on the screen, but the start again. So this is, of course, one of the patterns by Alexis of Sixel Design. You know I love her patterns. I talk about them almost every time. There's almost always something. It's a little stretched. I think I need to get a slightly smaller cushion to go inside it so that it's not quite as stretched out, because it's gone a bit gappy. That means the paler colour is showing through behind the black, which I don't particularly enjoy. But overall, I love it. This yarn, the peaches and cream yarn, I think it almost looks kind of bone coloured, which I think works really, really well for this pattern. Any colour would be fine. I've made skull things in all kinds of colours in the past and will do again, but I like that it's kind of slightly bony in terms of colour for this this project. This, like I think all of Alexis's patterns, is a overlay mosaic crochet pattern. I often see people talking online about how the hell do you manage all the ends with mosaic crochet, and there's a couple of options. The easiest one is to leave them and work them into fringing or tassels, which I have done on other projects, and it can work really, really well. For this one, I didn't want that. I didn't want tassels, I didn't want fringe, and so I simply worked them in as I was working. I worked over them. So I'd start each row by working over the tails from the previous row, and then as I got sort of towards the end, this way really, because you work from anyway, as I got towards the end, I'd sort of, from about there-ish, a couple of inches in, I'd fold over the end from this side and work over that as well. And it's resulted in, it's a bit mangled by my sewing, but it has resulted in what is actually quite a neat edge if we ignore where I sewed it. And it's a really easy way of doing it. You can, of course, wait until the end and physically sew them in, weave them in, but that's really tedious. Who enjoys doing that, really? Especially when there's so many. I don't mind if it's just a few, but when there are as many ends as there are in a project like this, it takes a while. The back is my now favourite method of making cushions, is to make two kind of half panels for the back with a bit of an overlap, and then add buttons, work buttonholes into this this kind of overlap bit of the top panel, and sew buttons on, and it's really secure, really neat. Means I don't have to sew in a zip because that is just the bane of my life. And makes it easy to remove when it's time to wash. To remove the cover when it's time to wash it. My words are really not working today, I'm sorry. If you've been here a while, you'll know this is normal, but it seems to be particularly bad today. Don't know what's going on. So just bear with me. I will try and remain vaguely coherent, but I make no promises. Yeah, looking at it again, I think I do need a smaller cushion for the inside. In fact, I might just now, while I'm thinking about it, take out the big one so that if I can get these buttons undone. Come on, I made really nice, neat buttonholes. There we go, undo. Just so it stops stretching it any more than it is already stretched. And I can get hold of a smaller one to put into this, because that's just, it's a lovely cushion, but it is just a little too big. There we go, look, this looks much neater, that side, without the cushion in it. It's not stretched out anymore. So yeah, really happy with that. I do wish it had sold. I was hoping it would, because it's, you know, it's got a love heart on it. It's Valentine's themed. But hey, nobody bit, and that's fine. Disappointing, but fine. And it will go up in the shop as soon as I get my act together and do another shop update. So it could be a while. I will try and make sure it isn't too long. Okay, next on the cards is the Rainbow Shrug that I'm working on. There isn't a huge amount of progress on this, but I just wanted to show you how the colour change is progressing with this yarn, because it's so pretty that way. It's so pretty. It's gone all purpley now. There we go. It's gone all purpley, and I'm loving it. Loving the colours. Also, where did I put it? I did leave a marker on to show how much progress I've made since the last time I spoke to you. It's not very much. I thought it was a bit more than this. So that's the marker from last time. That's where I've got to. So just a few rows, but that's okay. This one does have a bit of a time limit, deadline, that's the word I'm looking for, but it's a fairly flexible one, and it's probably a few months off yet. Basically, I want to have it finished before the weather gets warm. It's plenty cold enough at the moment. Yes, plenty cold at the moment for this not to be a worry. This is completely self-drafted. There's no pattern for this yet. I may write it up when I've finished. If you'd be interested in that, let me know. Obviously it doesn't look like a huge amount at the moment. It's just a steadily growing rectangle of fabric. But I do like the stitch pattern. It's very simple. Very simple repeat of stitches. Just enough variation so that I don't get bored. And what else was I going to say about it? Yeah, it's easy to remember. I don't have to look at my notes or anything while I'm doing it, but it, you know, I don't get bored of it because it is, each row is different. Repeats, but oh, you know what I mean. Over explaining. So yes, I may well write it up. When I'm done, it is a cotton. No, I'm not. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to have to look it up. I will probably have put it on the screen by now anyway. Is it cotton or is it cotton acrylic blend? You'd think I'd know by now. I've been using it for a while. Here's the label. It is 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. So it is lightweight, it is drapey, it's soft, but it's strong. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's going to be so lovely to wear it when the weather does get warm again. I overheat so easily in summer, so it'll be lovely to have something nice and breathable to wear. Sorry, that's my phone. I think, in fact, that's probably my reminder to record the podcast. I haven't got it on silent because Kelvin's out, so just in case anybody rings or the doorbell goes or something, I need to have it on. What was I saying? Shrug. Yes, at the moment it is just a rectangle of fabric. My plan, I have seen people do this, so in theory it will work, is once it's big enough, I may need more yarn, I may not, I'm not sure yet. Once it's big enough, you basically fold it in half, sew in enough at each end to make sleeves, but so that you can still get it on. And that's it, you've got a shrug. I think that is the door. So that is Kelvin coming home. I think, yes, that's the key in the door. So there will be some background noise from now on. But I've got my door shut, so hopefully not too much. I do also intend, once I've done that, to add a border, just to kind of finish it off a bit. But other than that, that's it. It should be a nice, simple bit of construction, and I should have a nice, wearable shrug that will fit me and look pretty. That is at least the plan. Wish me luck. It's a little bit experimental at the moment. Right. Might just pause, go and check in with Kelvin. Okay, I am back. I just wanted to check in with Kelvin because he's been to the physio this morning. Turns out he's got early onset carpal tunnel in both wrists, so that's joyful. But no, he's seen a really, really good physio and been given excellent advice, so hopefully there will be some improvement over the next few weeks. Anyway, back to what we're here for. Let's talk about the finished project that doesn't count. The reason it doesn't count is because this was already logged as a finished project a few months ago now. In fact, probably about 6 months ago now. But I've had to tweak, basically. This is a pair of socks for my mum. It's for her birthday. So yeah, just over 6 months actually, back in July. Never mind. I did give them to her, but unfortunately they were just a little bit too tight around the cuff, around the top. So I frogged them back to the heel, added some increases. I had done one by Christmas. I could have got them both done easily, but I wanted to do one for her to try on and check that it was okay before I did the other. I have now done both. So, as per usual, I believe this yarn is from Vicky Brown Designs because that's where a lot of my sock yarn is from, although I am getting through it actually. I'm starting to branch out into other indie yarn dyers and so on. I'm pretty sure it's Vicky Brown. If it's not, whatever it says on the screen is right. The heel is something different. That'll be on the screen and in the notes. And I love them. They are my words went. Using my favourite sock pattern, current favourite sock pattern, which is the Watson Waffle socks by Lakeside Loops. I believe there are other patterns using the same sort of stitch pattern to make other things. Gosh, come on, brain, catch up. I believe that there is a hat and possibly some other things I can't remember. Possibly some mittens, maybe. So you can make a whole little set for yourself that matches, which is lovely. But I just really, really like it. It's a fairly simple pattern, but it looks gorgeous. You get this lovely waffle stitch detail up the front. I have made other socks where I have carried it on around the back as well, but I decided not to for these. In fact, the pattern says not to. You know, I like to tweak things. And you can just see, I think I've done a fairly good job of keeping it neat and subtle, but you can just about see where I've put the increases up the side. At least I can. But then I know they're there. So yes, these are now officially done. And I can give them to my mum and she can wear them, which is lovely. So I put those back in this little bag that I've been keeping them in. And next time I see her, she can keep them, finally. I don't know where I kept those. I am in the process, I've only just started, so I'm not going to show you today, there's no point. I am in the process of making some more socks for one of my sisters as well. I made some for her birthday last year, and she had one pair of the waffle socks, and then I did another pair from a different pattern, and they just didn't fit at all. They were far too narrow. So I said, fine, I will make you a second pair. Not a problem. And I thought I could play around with other patterns and try and figure something out, but I know the Watson waffle pattern fits her. I've used it. I've made a pair of socks that works, so I'm going to make, as it turns out, two more pairs for her. So I will probably show you those next time. You may remember from last time that my random project picker spinny wheel thing to choose another old work in progress to work on came up with the what am I calling it? I think I've just called it the Hobbii bag, haven't I? Which is rescuing all the squares that I'd made to make a cardigan years ago from a mystery make along that Hobbii were running. I never finished the cardigan, fell out of love with the pattern. It's just too repetitive. And I am now repurposing those squares and decided to make some bags with them. I initially said a bag. There are plenty of squares, I can make more than one. It was just a case of finding the best way to put them together. I have finally found some options. I've got a couple, I think, and I have put all the some of the squares together. They're not fully attached yet. Some are properly attached, some are just clipped. But I am in the process of sewing together a bunch of squares, crocheting together. A bunch of squares. That will be the front side. And then this will be the back side. You can see there's lots of ends going on at the moment. And I believe what you do is you fold it there. That's right. Fold it there. Fold a couple of other bits, sew the sides together, and you end up with a bag. So it's very much a work in progress still, but it's coming together pretty nicely. I am for the most part using these ends because I left, where's an example? There we go, I left really long ends. So I'm mostly using those to do the seaming. Every now and then I've had to use a bit of extra yarn, but there's plenty left over from this project. What was I going to say then? So yeah, that's not a problem. Basically I've got plenty of yarn to do the seaming with, and I will have lots left over that can go back into stash as well. And I am just using these like binding clips to hold it together in a few places while the seaming is still in progress. Yeah, like I said, I've got plenty more squares, so there will be at least one more bag. I'm going to use a different construction method for the next one that I do. Let's see, this is perfectly easy. I suppose it's not difficult. A little bit fiddly, but it's not difficult once you get the layout sorted for this one, and it'll look really lovely. But I just wanted to do have a different option as well. So for the second one, I think what I'm going to do is basically join the smaller squares together into a big square for each side, and then either just have two sides and join them together around the edges and have quite a flat bag, or depending on how many squares I've got left and how big I want it to be, sort of make a strip of squares that will then form the sides and the bottom of the bag. So it'll be a kind of box bottom big shopping bag type thing. The only other question I have in my head really is whether or not I'm going to line them. I think I would like to, because it will make them sturdier, more secure if I'm putting small items in them. Not going to have to worry about them falling out through the holes. But it does mean sewing. I have a sewing machine. I can do very basic sewing. I'm not good at it. I don't especially enjoy it. So we'll see. I have I think a vague intention to make a lining for each of the bags. Whether I actually do remains to be seen. Right, final crochet project to talk to you about today. Did I mention last time, I can't remember now, that I am taking part in a pattern test for Shelley of Brambles and Heart. Yes, that is right. Had a moment halfway through saying that going, that's the wrong designer. No, it's Shelley from Brambles and Heart. She has got a new pattern coming out called the Kids Cedar Sweater. It's lovely. And I think the deadline is the 25th, 24th, 23rd, is it 20 something of Feb? We're nearly there. And it's taken a little longer than I hoped, just because I've been busy. I've not had as much time to work on it as I wanted, but it is coming together really nicely. I have made a lot of progress in the last couple of days, and it is going to look lovely. The group of pattern testers, there's a Instagram group set up for us all to chat in, and everyone is so lovely. It's really, really nice. I've tested for Shelley before, and there are a few people in that group who I know are regulars, but there's plenty of new people who I've not spoken to before as well. And everyone's just really kind and supportive and enthusiastic, and it's a really lovely thing to be a part of. So I'm obviously not going to go into too much detail about this, because it will be a paid pattern when Shelley releases it. But I have a back panel and a front panel. It's a colour block sweater, can you tell? They are both finished, just waiting to be joined together. Finished and ready to go. And I have one cuff for a sleeve that has not yet got a sleeve attached to it. And I have another cuff for a sleeve which has got most of a sleeve attached to it. So I've got, I think, about 10 rows left to do on this sleeve, then that sleeve to do as well, and then there's some ribbing to add at the neckline and at the hem as well, I think, from memory. And that'll be it. So hopefully just a couple more days. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to bother blocking it. think it depends how it looks. I might do, simply because, or at least block these two panels, simply because Cat wants to come in. Hang on. You come in? Come on. Yes, she is. Oh, up on the desk. Okay. Put that back in there before she knocks it off. Don't you ruin my notes, madam. Tail. Yeah, if you've been here before, you will know she comes and pesters and likes to be involved, but she will very rarely show her face on camera. You might just see her ears pop up every now and then. What was I saying? Blocking. Yes, I might just block these two panels because although the yarn is all Stylecraft Special DK, so it's all the same brand, same weight in theory. This lovely dark blue colour, which I think is called Midnight. Hello. Mind my notes. It's a lot, well, not a lot, just enough. It is thinner and a bit softer, and it's got a bit more drape to it, and that means that here where the colours change, this top panel has ended up being just a little bit wider, which isn't the end of the world, but I think if I can just block it out so that this is the same width, and it, you know, it's gonna look that bit better, I think, isn't it? So I might just block those two panels before I sew it all together. You're a menace. I can't wait for it to be finished. It looks lovely. All the sweaters that everybody else has made, most people are finished because they're making smaller sizes or have had more time. They all look fab. Everyone's got such a good eye for colour. There are fantastic colour options out there. I'm sure Shelley will share all the pictures when it comes to release time. I do need to put a post up on Instagram about this. I've been very, very slack about doing that. You've got something stuck in your fur, Missy. The size that I'm making is it 9 to 10? Yes, I think the sizing goes 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10. There's smaller as well. 9 to 10. Ned, my son, will be turning 9 in April, so 7 to 8 was going to be too small. So I asked for 9 to 10, and that's what I was given. So my intention is for this sweater to be for him. However, he is a bit funny about crocheted stuff. He loves that I crochet. I've made quite a few toys for him, which he absolutely adores. But when it comes to wearing crochet, like I've made hats and scarves and things for him as well, he's just very particular about what he wears, you know, what comes up next to his skin. So he may not want to keep it, and that is absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm making it anyway for the test. It made sense to make that size, so we could keep it if he wants to. Neris says it's hers. If he doesn't, it might fit one of my nephews. Ned's got plenty of friends who are the same age, roughly the same size. I'm sure I can find someone to give it to. So we shall see. Either way, I'm going to get Ned to model it for me so I can take some good pictures. I'm sure he won't mind doing that. He's usually up for it. So yeah, we shall see. I hope he likes it and wants to keep it. I will be a bit disappointed if he doesn't, but it's not the end of the world. I can, you know, if he likes the look of it, I can make him the same jumper in some different yarn and see if he likes that better. So I guess we will just see what happens. Right, why are you licking your lips? What have you been licking? Silly sausage. You're so friendly. Oh, yeah. You think I'm talking to you, don't you? And I'm talking to all these other people instead. Hey? You're going to want to go at a really inconvenient moment, aren't you? Yes. Anyway, crochet. I'm not going to spin up words. I'm not going to spin the wheel to see about getting another whip out of hibernation because I'm still working on the bags, and I've got plenty of other whips in progress at the moment. Obviously in progress, that's what it stands for. Oh my goodness, Neris, my brain is not working today at all. What was I trying to say? I've got plenty of current whips at the moment to be working on, and I don't want to overstretch myself, basically. I have got a couple of new things I want to start as well. I am being good and making sure I finish some other stuff first. But yes, which I hopefully will, if I get some things finished between now and the next episode, and hopefully I'll have some new projects to show you then as well. We shall see. Right, spinning. I have done lots of spinning. Lots of spinning. I can't remember what I showed you last time, so you might have seen some of this before. It is going to be a little bit rustly because most of the fibre I'm working with is wool. I am keeping it in plastic Ziploc bags to keep everything airtight, keep pests out just in case, or keep them contained if they happen to be in the fibre already. So far I have not had an issue with that, but one can never be too careful when it comes to moths and such. You know, when your whole hobby / job revolves around yarn, I don't want moths in here. I really, really don't. So let's start with the blues. You may remember, I think I did talk about it last time. I need my hands back. I do. That I had bought a variety pack of fibre from World of Wool. It was their Moody Blues pack, and was all different shades of blue, and I was struggling to work out which was which. I have pored over the pictures on the website and I think I've got it right. I think I've figured it out. Not 100% certain on a couple, but I'm going with it. I'm just assuming they're right. I will show you. There are two that I haven't touched yet. So, excuse me. I will quickly show you these two. What have I done with the little bits of paper with the names on? Tucked right inside. So I think this one, put that back in so I don't lose it. I think this one is Phoenix. Oh, Neris is about to go, of course. Oh no, she might just be settling. I might have to get. Oh, stop talking so quickly. I might have to get up and let her out in a minute. Yes, I think that one's Phoenix. She is going to go. I'll just show you this one and then I'll let her out. And I think this one is Aquarius. Can't remember the fibre content for either of those off the top of my head, but I will pop it up on the screen when I come to edit. Right, let Neris back out. I've got one spin that is in progress at the moment. I will take a picture of the bit that I've spun up so far and put it up here for you. I would show you properly, but it is on the spindle, which is on the machine, and I don't want to disrupt anything. I am in the process of spinning up this, which I think is called Tranquil. They are such lovely colours. Really, really enjoying them. Put that back in there. That is all contained in this beautiful yarn bowl that my mother-in-law bought me for Christmas, birthday, same time of year, so I forget which is which. Right, and now let's show you the ones I've spun. Now I think I showed you this one last time. I How have I got ink on me? Is it ink or is it? Don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think this one's called Aquila. I can't say it. I'll put it on the screen. I can normally say it. I can't say it today. Let's spin it like this. I may, if I can be bothered, find a picture from their website of what the fibre looked like before spinning as well. I'm spinning these all up as 2-ply yarns and getting them as fine as I can. I think, what have I got on here? I've got roughly 18 wraps per inch on this one, which works out as a light sport. And I'm trying to aim for the same with the rest. This one, oh, I've got 15, which is a DK, so it's a bit thicker, but hey, never mind. This one I think is called Fable. It's got lovely little neps, I think they're called, a fibre in amongst it, but I love that colour, so pretty. And then this one I think is called Tweedledee. How many? I've got 16. 16 wraps per inch for this one, so is again just about a sport. So yeah, sort of light DK, sport weight-ish I'm aiming for. And when I've finished all 6, I'm going to make something with all of them that'll be a kind of gradient-ish. They should all go together quite nicely. That's the first 3 that I've done. I'm really, really happy with these. They're spinning up really nicely. I am still struggling a bit with consistency, particularly actually when it comes to plying now. My singles are getting more and more consistent, but when I come to ply them together, it's just getting that consistent twist all the way through. But I'm getting better. Practice makes progress. It's all good. That is not all the spinning I have done. I have done lots. I think, no, I will definitely have shown you some of this last time. This is all the purple yarn I was spinning up, but I have now properly finished it, so I just wanted to go through it one more time. Noisy, sorry. Just to show you how much I've got and whether or not I'm going to be able to, oh, drop it on the floor, use it all together or not. I'm not 100% certain that I will, but I might. So first off, I had a little bit of the merino yarn left over when I'd finished spinning it all up. None of the bamboo, I think that all got used, but some, in fact, yes it did, but just some of the merino in 2 shades of the purple was left over. So I've got a little mini skein, which is, again, is just a 2-ply. Have I written down the wraps for that? I don't think I have. Oh no, 12 I think. My notes are very all over the place. Yeah, 12 wraps per inch I think on that one, which off the top of my head I think is approximately a DK, maybe. So that's just a little mini. I'm keeping it with those. I might be able to use it with all the rest, depending on what I make. Might end up being a bit of edging or something. I don't know. I think if I do make something, it's probably going to have to be like a shawl or a small blanket, maybe. I need to do some proper research. But hang on, let me get them all together. I can hold them up and we can get a decent thumbnail out of them, hopefully. Oh, no, that's not the card for that skein. It is, I just haven't attached it, which is foolish. Look at all that. Got 4 big skeins. Now it is all a bit the spin is uneven, the thickness is uneven, each of these skeins is a slightly different thickness. But I think, looking at it now, I think I probably can use it all together, especially if I go for a shawl or a scarf. I was hoping to make a little shrug or something out of it, a little cardigan. Don't know if that's practical. I don't know if I've got enough, to be honest. But yeah, a shawl or a wrap or a scarf, something like that. I'm very happy with it anyway, and it's nice to have it done. Now I cannot remember which one I did in which order, but I think this is the first one. Yes, because I've written batch 1 on it. So this was just done on the drop spindle. There's no machine spinning at all in this skein. It's all done by hand on the drop spindle. The 3 singles, 2 merino, 1 bamboo, was spun on the drop spindle. It was plied on the drop spindle. So that is the least even. I haven't written down how many wraps per inch it is, so I'll have to work that out at some point. But having said that, you know, it's not bad. It's not bad for it. It's probably also the thickest actually as well. I think that's looks, apart from the odd bit, thicker than a DK. I would say that's at least an Aran, possibly bordering on a chunky, which isn't ideal. But we'll see. We'll see. Have I got any notes about which of these was next? Don't think I do, but let me just double check. No. I'm just trying to see if I can work it. No, I don't think I can. So one of these, the singles, were done with the drop spindle, but then it was plied on the machine. The other 2 are completely machine spun. This one is worked out as a DK. I've got 14 wraps per inch, and it is, again, it's a bit uneven, but it's better. Definitely better. I love these colours, I really do. And I'm really, really proud of the fact that I've managed to get the colours to blend together quite nicely. I think because I've worked in that the strand of bamboo. So the merino, there's 5 colours of purple going from light to dark, but then the bamboo strand is just one solid colour. And so I think because that's worked throughout the whole skein, it kind of ties the others together and makes it more of a gradient than a stripe. I like the effect anyway. Oh gosh, okay, this one's only 9 wraps per inch, so this one's an Aran. So this might have been a drop spindle singles. The bamboo looks like it was actually, yeah. So I think this is the one where the singles are spun on the drop spindle and then it was plied on the machine. But still, yeah, it's not bad. If that one's an Aran, I would say that first one is probably a chunky, which isn't great, but never mind. And then this one, I've got 12 wraps per inch, so this is another DK. So I might not be able to use them all together. I guess we'll see. But it depends what I make. If I make a what was I trying to say? If I do a shawl, I could start maybe with the heavier yarn at the top, or if I do something where I'm working inside out, it's heavy, it could be in the middle or on the outside. I don't know. Or just had this thought right now, once I cake them all up, I could alternate. It's a bit more fiddly, but I could alternate skeins, like row by row. So I could have like an Aran weight row, DK weight row, and so on. That might work. I need to do some thinking and some research, and we'll see what happens. Right, final bit of spinning to show you. How long is this? Oh, I'm sorry, it's a long one. Hopefully I'll be able to cut some bits out for you. If not, it's just going to be a long one. Sorry. I should have thought this through and done a two-parter, but I didn't. Basically, I just didn't. Right, last bit of spinning to show you. This is from the Magical Worlds Fibre Club from the lovely Laura of Folk Yarn Studios, also known as the Lonely Knitter. That's the Folk Yarn logo. Also known as the organiser of the East Anglia Yarn Festival, which I'm going to this year. I cannot wait. Yeah, she's doing a fibre club this year. You can sign up to it at any time. You'll have missed January's now, obviously, and possibly February's as well. But you can sign up for the rest. You can dip in and out. I've done it as a subscription, so I don't have to think about it. I will just get a fibre every month, which I'm very happy about. You can do it however you like. So this is the first. I love it. Sorry, it's so squishy. This colourway is called In the Clouds, and the blend is the East Anglian blend, which I believe she makes. No, I believe it is the blend that is used for the folk yarn that she produces. So it is 60% Romney wool, 20% Blueface Leicester, and 20% Suffolk. So 100% wool, but 3 different breeds. And again, I'll see if I can find a picture of the fibre, put it up for you before I spun it. I think I did take a couple, just so you can see the difference. I tried to preserve the colour variation from the fibre, and I haven't done as good a job as I'd hoped. You can, I think if I hold it up, you can tell there is some variation. There's sort of, there's some lighter greys, there's some darker greys, but it is all blended together a bit too much compared to what I wanted. But hey, it's still lovely yarn. Overall, I'm very happy with it. It is a 3-ply. I haven't actually written that down. And I've ended it with 13 reps per inch, which is a DK, which is perfect. Over 200 yards. And I just love it. I'm really, really happy with it. I could have done a slightly tighter spin on the plying. And again, there's a bit of inconsistency, but overall, it's lovely. So this fibre club, there will be different fibres, different blends, as well as there being different colours each month. But I am intending to use them all together in one big project throughout the year. I had thought massive shawl, but I think this amount of yarn, that's going to be too big. But I think I'm going to make a big blanket. What I can't decide is whether to, well, there's a few options. I could do a blanket that's worked in just in rows, so do a first row as wide as I want it, work it in rows, and then carry on until I've used up all the yarn, basically. I could do similar but corner to corner, and then the widest point would be, I'd stop increasing at the end of June's fibre, and then decrease with the rest of it and hope that it works and I end up with December being that final decreased corner point. Or I could make big squares with each month and then join them together. I could do a 3x4 because there'll be 12 squares in total. I don't know which I prefer. I want to decide fairly soon because I'd like to start working this up, because otherwise I'm going to end up being months behind and it'll feel really daunting. Whereas I figure if I can do, okay, I'm a month behind, this is January's, but if I can kind of work up January's this month and then February's in March and so on throughout the year, that'll keep me on track. and then sort of this time next year, maybe a little bit later but not too much, I'll have a finished blanket. So what do you think? Striped, corner to corner, squares. What would you do? Are there any specific patterns that you think would work really well? Do you think I can manage to get a consistent enough DK weight yarn with each of these 12 fibres, 12 eventual skeins of yarn that I'm going to have to make it a reasonable blanket? If you would do squares, what would you use to join them? These are all questions that I need answers to. I'm going to think. Your opinion would be greatly appreciated. Please do let me know. That's all the spinning. I need to press on, otherwise this is going to get even longer and you won't want to watch it because it'll be too long. That's the wrap up. I have got some incoming to show you. Hang on a sec. In fact, I have got some incoming to show you. I bought more fibre. World of Wool were having a sale and I got sucked in. However, I'm quite pleased I got this whole box. It's a pretty big box. Under £30, including postage. So that's not bad. I think though, just to save time, I'm going to do a separate unboxing video for you. So I will do that at some point in the next couple of days, and I shall publish it after this has gone live. So I don't know exactly when it'll be up, but keep your eyes open. There will be an unboxing video for this. So there we go. I should put this down again. Quick sneak. Okay, so when I was showing you the box of fibre and that rebellious little package fell out, it landed on my keyboard and paused the video, paused the recording, and I didn't realise until after I had finished wrapping up. So I'm going to have to do the wrap up again. Luckily it's not very long. So let me see if I can remember what I was saying. Okay, my next podcast episode should be released on the 28th of Feb. I hope. Yeah, life happens. Sometimes I don't stick to schedule, but that's the plan. My next craft market that I'm hosting in Harrogate again will be on the 12th of April, about a week before Easter, I believe. There's plenty of space at the moment. If you own a small business of pretty much any kind and you'd like to trade at the event, then there's information in the description underneath this video and on my website. That's where the link is too. And yeah, it'd be lovely to see you there. Please do have a look. You can book your place online on my website. So far that system seems to be working pretty well, so that is good. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am intending to offer workshop space as well. That's not on the website yet. I don't know if I'm going to put it on there. If you're interested in hosting a workshop, please just let me know and we shall discuss. If you are local-ish to Harrogate and you don't want to trade but you do want to visit on the day, then you would be more than welcome to come along, of course, and have a look at what we've got to offer on the day. Do come and say hello and let me know that you are a podcast viewer if you do pop along. It'd be lovely to meet you. It made me very, very happy. So yeah, that would be fab. And I think the last thing that I'd said was basically that there's stuff in my shop. I've got a whole bunch of stitch marker sets in my shop at the moment. There are lots more to add when I get a minute, slash the motivation. I'll be brutally honest, I hate, that's the door again, I absolutely hate the process, even though it's not actually that difficult, but it feels like it's always going to be a really big job. Yeah, the process of photographing things, that's the tricky bit actually, the photographing products, trying to make them look good. I know they look good in real life, but getting good photos of them I find really difficult. So yeah, I need to do that at some point basically, and get all the rest of them up on my website so you lovely people can have a look and buy some. There are also things in my shop that are not stitch markers. There are some of my crocheted pieces on there. Again, I need to add a whole load more that aren't on there yet. I'll get to it one day. If there's anything specific you'd like to see in my shop, let me know. I'm not going to make any promises, but it's always good to have extra ideas. I think that was everything. I really hate repeating myself. I know you've not heard this before, but I have. I've just said it. So I always feel a bit awkward. But yeah, I think that was everything. So I'm going to say goodbye and bang my head gently on the desk out of frustration. No, wait. Possibly have some chocolate too, just to make myself feel better. Thank you very, very much for watching, for putting up with my nonsense, especially as incoherent as it has been today. I really, really do appreciate you being here. Take care of yourself. I hope you have a good couple of weeks between now and the next one. And I will be back then. Okay, bye for now.